so my name is Pepijn, and I did something different than the internship section. I really like the way how people think, and really how they solve problems or perceive the world. Well, maybe you can already guess what I then did. That's a minor in psychology. I did it at the University of Amsterdam. It's not an official minor you can do right away, so you need to send a letter to the Board of Examiners and to tell why you want to do a minor in psychology. So that's something to keep in mind. But okay, let's go on with psychology itself. Some people still see psychology as this, but that's not what it is. I think some of you will know, but this is just one of the sub-areas of psychology. There's a lot more to incorporate with psychology. And I think if you read through these keywords, you might find some words that are really applicable on your projects, your current projects or previous projects. I'm like 100% sure that at least one could be useful. But okay, for my minor, there are no projects, of course. There are books, thick books, and there are exams. And I should say, don't be afraid of the exam. Really, don't be afraid. Not afraid like this guy over here. That's not. Okay, I'll admit, with some questions I was also like this guy, but still, But okay, so don't be afraid of all the exams and all the books. Keep in mind while you're reading, that's something I want to say, because a lot of people think, oh, minor somewhere else means reading books, and I'm not used to that, so I need to learn it. But when you read the books from the perspective of industrial design over here, you'll find almost all the information useful, at least for me. My colleague students who were not doing a major in industrial design were like, what is this for? Where can I use this for? And when I was reading it, wow, this is so useful. Why didn't I know this? But I'll get to that. So let me talk a bit more about the courses I followed and some examples where I found this principle. So where I thought, oh yeah, this is really useful to use in design, what I'm now also doing in my final bachelor project. So one of the subjects, one of the courses was cognitive psychology. Well, you might guess it. That's really about the mental capabilities and incapabilities of humans. So how they perceive the world, how they process information, how they make a response. Let's get to some theory of the book. So if you look at this scheme, you think, okay, do I really need to learn this? What can I do with it? But what it actually tells you is that when someone, maybe you will understand it right away if you look at this, when someone perceives a stimuli, it takes some time to select a response. It sounds pretty easy, right? But during that response selection, if you then perceive another stimuli, so a little bit later than the first stimuli, you can only start your selection with the response when you're finished selecting the first response. Well, the other first year students who also followed this course, it was a first year course, they were like, okay, nice. What can I do with it? Well, if you make a design, for example, an app, and you have a lot of information flowing between the user and the object you're interacting with, this could be something which you can use to make a certain design decision. And I immediately thought, okay, remember this. A second example is not really that concrete, not really effective. That's from the developmental psychology. So it's really about how people change through ages. So it's really helpful to know what different ages are capable of. For example, if you want to design for children in the future, this is a perfect subject for you. And one of the main things I learned from this is that children are really capable of a lot. They're maybe even more skilled than we are. And we tend to look at their motor skills actually and see uncontrolled and impulsive behavior, but that's not really how they perceive the world, and that's something we think has a connection. So uncontrolled behavior with uncontrolled perception of the world, but that's not really the case. They're really skilled, as you can see. Okay, and a third and last example is I did also the subject statistics and research methods. It sounds really boring, statistics, but I'm really happy that I chose it, because I can now finally, when I do a user test, do something with the data. I can make a conclusion out of it. Now it was like with my previous user test, as I did here, I was like, okay, yeah, my concept works. With these people, it didn't work out that well, but with these people, yeah, it worked. So, okay, overall it worked. That's a bit how it works over here. Of course, you have deadline to stress. Use this always. I'm not doing it. And that was really something I could use now. You need to go through a thick book of statistics and use formulas, but when you practice a lot, you get through it. And if you keep in mind that design perspective, that you can use it for your future user tests, then you will get through all the theory. And also with the research methods. If I now look back at this user test, I'll throw it all away, actually. If I see how much I did wrong, like all the other variables I forgot in this environment, then I'll throw this user test away right away. So I learned a lot from only reading books. Now I need to try to apply it, of course. That's the next step. So my conclusion is that if you do a minor in psychology, you need to be interested in these kind of facts. So really see how you could use it. Then you'll read through all the theory. But secondly, it will also change your mindset a bit. So, for example, with children, I thought they're not that skilled, and you need to make simple designs. And you need to, of course, to some extent, yes, but they're actually really skilled. So, with some subjects, it really changes your way of thinking about things. And also with research and statistics, you really approach a context in a different way when you try to verify your design within that context. So that's it. Thank you.